Hello guys, this is your friend. We are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Naruto strives to become the ultimate ninja of the elemental nations part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. The clearing of a forest located in Konoha, the Hidden Leaf Village, a boy sits reading a large scroll. His name is Uzumaki Naruto. A pariah of the village, he has been abused and mistreated ever since he was born. He aspires to become Hokage so that he could protect the people he cares about as well as gain recognition from the people around him. However, he failed the graduation exam at the Ninja Academy twice, with yesterday being his due to not being able to properly Bunshin no Jutsu. One of his teachers, Mizuki, told him of a makeup exam which involves taking a scroll from the Hokage's office and learning a technique in order to pass. Well, I was able to learn the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, but maybe learning another technique would increase my chances of passing this makeup exam, thought Naruto, who was wearing a rust orange jump that just screams, "I am right here. Kill me," and green goggles with blue ninja sandals. As he goes through the scroll, Naruto gets a paper cut and mistakenly drips his blood on a seal that releases a box and a small scroll that drop to the floor. Curious about the box, Naruto opens the box, which reveals a bracelet inside. It is silver in color with a dragon and phoenix motif on the metal with a large red gem. When Naruto reached out touched it, he forgot that he was using the very hand that was bleeding slightly, which a drop of blood fell from and onto the bracelet. Upon making contact with the blood, the bracelet glowed brightly, forcing Naruto to close his eyes from being blinded. When he opened his eyes, Naruto noticed that the bracelet was attached to his left wrist. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't get it off until he remembered the small scroll and opened it to find out what is going on. To anyone who reads this, inside the box contains the Jigen no Tamashi no Rinku. This weapon has been created by the gods of different worlds to serve the person who is pure of heart and a sense of justice. Should anyone of evil intentions touch it, their soul will be destroyed without hesitation, but should a person who is pure of heart drop his blood onto the bracelet, it will bond with the person and can never be taken off until his death or when he falls to darkness, which results in his soul being destroyed. The Jigen no Tamashi no Rinku has the ability to grant the wielder the weapons or gears of legendary heroes from different dimensions. The level of their power depends on the amount of energy the user possesses. The more energy the wielder sends to the bracelet, then he is granted more access to the potent power of the weapon. We hope that the wielder will use the Jigen no Tamashi no Rinku for the salvation of his world instead of its destruction. Naruto was surprised that he now has the most powerful weapon in the world, but at the same time he was happy. As he was about to examine the bracelet, Naruto felt someone come into the clearing. It was his other teacher from the academy, Umino Iruka. "Looks like you found me, Iruka-sensei. I only had time to learn one jutsu from the scroll," said Naruto with a foxy grin. He has been practicing out here until he wore himself out, thought Iruka looking at the blonde. "Anyway, if I perform the jutsu properly then you would let me pass, right? Those are the rules. Anyone who learns a jutsu from the scroll passes," said Naruto with excitement. Iruka looked shocked. "Who told you about this?" he asked with tension. "Mizuki-sensei told me about it. I thought that since you're here, you knew as well," said Naruto. Hearing a sound from behind, Iruka pushed Naruto out of the way only to be hit by kunai which was thrown. "Like I thought, you planned all this, Mizuki." The said ninja laughed out loud. "You were always too smart for your own good, Iruka." Now Naruto hand over the scroll. What's going on?" asked Naruto looking at the two teachers in confusion. "Naruto, don't let him have the scroll. It contains the forbidden techniques that could destroy our village. He used you so that he could steal it," said Iruka. "Don't listen to him, Naruto. Iruka has been keeping secrets from you, him along with the other villagers that concerns you. Don't you wonder why they hate you so much?" said Mizuki with an evil smile. "Mizuki, don't tell him. It's a village secret. What is this secret that everybody knows except me? Asked Naruto, desperately wanting to find out why he was hated. It's a secret that you should never be told, said Mizuki with his smile growing wider. Mizuki, don't tell him, cried out Iruka. What is it? Tell me already, said Naruto. No one's supposed to tell you that you have the Kyuubi no Kitsune sealed inside you. You are the one who attacked the village 12 years ago, the one who killed Iruka's parents, you are the nine-tailed fox. Shouted out Mizuki, laughing maniacally. Naruto just stood there stunned at being told the reason why he was hated. He could find sense in the reason they mistreated him. Die, you demon, shouted out Mizuki before throwing a large shuriken at Naruto, who was still in shock, to move until Iruka tackled him to the ground and received the shuriken on his back. Why did you save me? You were supposed to hate me as well, said Naruto, looking at Iruka in surprise. It's because I know how it feels to be alone. Like you, I used to play pranks and fool around just to get attention, but deep inside I felt alone, which is why I wanted to be there for you, said Iruka amidst tears. Naruto looked at him for a moment before running off with the scroll despite Iruka calling for him. You are so pathetic, Iruka, crying for that demon. I am going to kill the demon brat and get the forbidden scroll before I come back to kill you, said Mizuki before taking off. Naruto was running through the forest when Iruka came beside him. Naruto, don't listen to Mizuki's lies. Pass me the scroll so that we can keep it safe from him, said Iruka. Naruto leapt at Iruka and slammed him to the ground before sitting down and leaning against a tree. Iruka disappeared in a puff of smoke to reveal Mizuki. How did you know that I wasn't the real Iruka? Naruto smirked at him before disappearing in a puff of smoke as well to reveal Iruka. That's because I am the real Iruka. Nearby was Naruto hiding behind a tree with the scroll in his hands. Why do you defend that demon brat? If you were the Kyuubi, I am sure that you would keep the scroll for its power, said Mizuki. Yeah, you right, said Iruka. Naruto bent his head down. Like I thought Iruka sees me like that just like the rest, thought Naruto, and was about to fall into despair when he heard Iruka's next words. The demon would do that, but not Naruto. He knows the feeling of pain and is a hard worker if you look through his clumsiness. He is a ninja of the Hidden Leaf Village, he is Uzumaki Naruto, said Iruka with sincerity in his voice, to which Naruto was struggling to hold back his tears. I thought to kill you later, but now I've my mind. You will die now, said Mizuki, running in to finish Iruka until Naruto jumped in and landed a headbutt into him, knocking him back. If you as much as take a step anywhere near Iruka-sensei, I will kill you, Naruto declared with a glare leveled at Mizuki. Smart talk, demon brat, I can finish you in one move, said Mizuki. Just try it, Tem. I'll return it 1,000 times more, said Naruto while crossing his index fingers before crying out the jutsu. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. A large plume of smoke appeared and cleared to reveal copies of himself, only that they are solid. Iruka was shocked that his student was able to use a high-ranked jutsu with no issue. Okay everyone, attack, said Naruto with his clones charging at Mizuki. However, Mizuki was able to defend himself and defeated the clones with his kunai. Is that all you got, you demon brat? Mizuki taunted as he slowly approached Naruto and Iruka. Damn, what else can I do to beat this guy? My clones aren't enough, thought Naruto until the bracelet glowed and he heard a feminine voice. Do you wish to use this power to protect the person you care about? The voice asked Naruto. He was confused at first, but he confirmed. Yes, I want to protect my precious people no matter what, even if it kills me, he said to the voice. Then channel your chakra to the bracelet and yell out the word that comes into your mind, said the voice. As Naruto did so, he heard the voice of young man saying something and yelled out what he said. Journey to the west, he yelled. The bracelet glowed brightly, and when it faded, it revealed Naruto holding a golden staff. As he held the weapon, his head was filled with information of how to use it. He smirked at Mizuki. Get ready, Mizuki Tem, I am about to go all ape on you. Naruto dashed in, spinning the staff before planting it into the floor and vaulting off it and landing a fierce kick on Mizuki's face. Grabbing the staff and spinning it again, Naruto began bashing Mizuki continuously until he was a mess of bruises, broken teeth and bones. "This is the end," said Naruto, sending chakra into the staff, increasing its size, and swung at him, sending Mizuki crashing into a tree, knocked out. "Now that was a home run," Naruto said, laughing. "What weapon is this?" he thought before the voice answered him. "It is the golden staff which was once wielded by Sun Wukong, who goes by the title Great Sage equaling heaven. With this weapon, he defeated many soldiers of heaven until he was imprisoned by Buddha, but was later released to escort a monk on a journey to the west." "Wow. So I wielded the weapon of the legendary Monkey King," thought Naruto excitedly after the cudgel disappeared from his hands. "Yes, and you can wield the weapons of other heroes as you grow stronger, but for now you should check on your sensei," said the voice. Naruto immediately turned to check on Iruka. "Iruka-sensei, are you alright?" he asked with concern. "Yeah, but come over here and close your eyes, I need to give you something," said Iruka while smiling. Naruto did as Iruka requested. "Okay, you can open them now." When he did, Naruto noticed that Iruka wasn't wearing his forehead protector anymore, but rather he is. "Congratulations, Naruto. You are now a ninja," Iruka said, smiling. Naruto couldn't hold back his tears anymore and embraced his teacher. After leaving a battered Mizuki to the Anbu and dropping Iruka at the hospital to be healed of his injuries, Naruto went to the Hokage Tower to get some answers from his surrogate grandfather. Upon reaching the door to his office, he opened it to reveal the Hokage sitting behind his desk, as if knowing that he was coming, thanks to his crystal ball which enables him to see everything within the village. "Gigi, could you explain why I wasn't told that I had the nine-tailed fox that had attacked the village sealed into me till now?" asked Naruto with a look in his eyes which spoke of anger and betrayal, to which made the old man feel guilty. "I had set up a law to make the people not speak of the event, to which the penalty is death, and I didn't tell you about the fox in order for you to have a normal childhood," said Sarutobi, but this rather angered the young blonde. "You may have put this idea into theory thinking it would work, but it didn't come out well in practical. Because every parent told their children to stay away from me, everyone looks at me like I am not supposed to exist. Shops sell low-quality items at ridiculous prices when I try to buy something, and I nearly get killed on my birthdays by angry mobs if not for Inu saving me every time. So tell if this is what one would call a normal childhood," shouted Naruto. If the Hokage wasn't feeling guilty yet, then he is certainly feeling in huge amounts compared to when Naruto eats ramen at Ichiraku, and he still hasn't revealed the whole truth to his surrogate grandson yet. "And I am sure you know who my parents are, since you didn't tell me about this, so could you tell me the reason why before I lose whatever little trust I have in you left?" said Naruto with tears in his eyes. "The reason I didn't tell you the truth was because your father was a powerful ninja who had a lot enemies both inside and outside the village. If they are to find out about your existence, they would stop at nothing just to kill you in a form of revenge, and I intended to tell you when you reach Chunin rank," said Sarutobi with sadness in his eyes. Trying to understand his reason, Naruto looked around the office until his eyes set on the portrait of the Hokages, especially the one with the blonde hair. Upon closer study, Naruto had a look of realization and a sad smile as he put all the pieces together. "The fourth was my father, wasn't he?" said Naruto with tears flowing down his face. The Hokage had a look of shock at how the young figured out the truth. But how did you know that he was your father?" asked the old man. Naruto laughed at him. "That's easy. We both share the same blonde hair aside from the Yamanaka clan. If you remove my whisker marks, I would look like a younger version of himself. Mostly importantly, he couldn't bring himself to have a parent to offer their child when he could trust his own to protect the village and control the fox's power. I'm just surprised that those dumb villagers couldn't pick up the resemblance between the two of us," said Naruto. "What do you think of your father for sealing the beast into you? Are you angry at him for that?" asked Sarutobi, hoping that he wouldn't turn on the village after learning the truth. I would be lying if I said that I am not angry at him for sealing the fox inside me, making me the scapegoat for the hatred of the villagers, but I have reasons to believe that he holds great love and trust in me to use this power to protect the village and the people precious to me, but I will give him a punch to the gut. But aside from that, I am happy and proud to be his son, said Naruto with a foxy grin, to which the old Hokage smiled as well. If that's the case, I will also tell you that your mother was Kushina Uzumaki, who was from the Uzumaki clan of the village hidden in the whirlpools. They were well known for their fuinjutsu and their strong vitality and longevity. However, out of fear, the villages of Iwa and Kumo combined their forces to attack your mother's village, wiping them not without losing a majority of their forces, and we who were your mother's allies arrived to send them packing. Kushina moved to Konoha, where she met Minato, who was your father, and later on secretly got married. She was also the container for the fox before you. I don't know how the fox got out of the seal that night, since your father was there when she was giving birth to you, said Sarutobi. Naruto was surprised at hearing the history of his clan, but felt proud of his parents nonetheless. Okay, Gigi, I forgive you for keeping this from me, as I finally understanding the reason for it. But is there anything I need to know so that I wouldn't get mad at you, as I really hate getting angry at the people that I care about, said Naruto, looking at the Hokage with complete trust. Well, I've passed my obstacle course, so now it's their turn to cross, since I am now out of his line of fire, he thought. Yes, there is. Your parents had made Jiraiya and Tsunade, who are members of the Sannin, to be your godparents. Upon hearing that he had godparents who weren't around to take care of him, he became extremely furious. If I ever run into them, I'm gonna pound them into the ground regardless of their status, Naruto thought. Gigi, I'll find my own way to deal with them when they show up. We need to talk about the Jigen no Tamashi no Rinku, which I'm now in possession of. Indeed, but I don't much about it, so could you explain what it does since it's attached to you now, said Sarutobi with a look of curiosity. Well, the bracelet would only allow a person with a pure soul to wear it, as the soul of evil person would be destroyed upon wearing it. It allows me to gain access to the weapons and gears of legendary heroes and warriors from different worlds and dimensions. The bracelet won't come unless I die or fall to darkness, so I need to train in order to wield its powers, said Naruto, to which the Hokage nodded in understanding. Okay then, the team matchups will be postponed till next 3 weeks, so you can use this time to adapt to it, and if there anything comes up I will inform you. Just watch out for the civilian council, as they will do anything to get their hands on it, especially Danzo. He has been trying to make you into a weapon ever since you had the fox sealed in you, said Sarutobi. Thanks for the heads up. Just know that I will protect the village no matter what happens, see ya, said Naruto before leaving for his apartment. When he reached his home, he took off his jumpsuit whilst thinking of getting new clothes to replace the monstrosity, and went to sleep. Mindscape. When he opened his eyes, Naruto discovered that he was in a sewer and that he was standing in front of a large gate with a paper-written seal on it. This must be where the fox is sealed and where I meet it as well. I should be able to get some answers from the fox, thought Naruto. So I finally get to meet my jailer. I was wondering when I would see you, said a deep voice as footsteps was heard and a pair of red eyes appeared from behind the gate. Naruto was stunned and a bit frightened to see the figure, which revealed to be a giant orange fox with 9 tails. To what I owe this visit from the one who imprisons me, or have you come to release me? It said with a sneer. I am not here to trade insults, fox. I want to know from your point of view, as I'm sure that you would have left the village instead of attack it, said Naruto. The fox was surprised, as it thought he would have started blaming it for the bad things that happened to him, and demanded its power. Before I was sealed into you, your mother was originally my container, but on that night a masked man attacked your parents and forcefully extracted me from your mother, leaving her to die. The next I know, I was looking into his eye, which had a Sharingan, sending me into a primal rage to lay waste to the village. Your father summoned the Shinigami to seal me into you in exchange for his own soul. I didn't mean to attack your village at all, said the fox with a sad look. After hearing what the fox said, Naruto thought deeply. the only person who could control the nine-tailed fox would be Uchiha Madara, but he is supposed to be dead in the battle against the first Hokage, or it might be someone who is impersonating him. Then I have to get stronger to be able to face him, but how? I believe I can help, said a voice which sounds feminine. Naruto and the fox quickly turned to the direction of the voice, surprised that someone else aside from them is here. A figure appeared to reveal a young woman wearing a white robe with sandals and her long white hair reaching to her knees. Hello, I am the spirit of the Jigen no Tamashi no Rinku, and I am here to serve as your guardian, and you are my master. She then realized who she is. You are the voice that showed me how to use the bracelet to protect Iruka-sensei. Thank you very much for helping me back then, said Naruto happily. I am merely doing my duty to serve my master, said the spirit with a smile. Don't you have name? Aside from that, Naruto turned to the fox. What is your name? I can tell that you have one, as far as I can tell that the nine-tailed fox is just a title, which surprised the two entities, especially the fox, as none asked for his name but rather his power. Maybe being sealed in this kid isn't so bad after all. He wants to be friends instead of treating me like an object unlike the others before him. The fox thought. Well, my name is Kurama and you are the first human to ask for my name. Naruto smiled brightly at learning of his new friend's name, and they turned to the spirit, who had a confused look on her face. Well, I don't have a name since I am merely your guardian, she said, to which Naruto had a look of surprise. Well, you need a name as it proves your existence. Anyway, let me think of one, said Naruto, remembering how the villagers looked at him. I got it. Your name is now Chinami, as it means wisdom and knowledge, since you know everything about the power of the bracelet. Also, don't call me master, as I don't like being called that. Very well, then I will call you Naruto-sama, said the newly named Chinami, who is inwardly happy at having a name. Okay, that's fine. I am happy to meet the both of you, Kurama and Chinami, said Naruto with a foxy grin, to which they both returned a smile as well. By the way, Kit, do you know that time goes slower in the mindscape than in the outside world, such that a year in here is a week outside, so you can use this opportunity to train, said Kurama, as he didn't want Naruto to be helpless now that they are partners along with Chinami. Kurama-san is right, Naruto-sama, due to the sabotage at the academy. You are not truly ready for the outside world, said Chinami, to which Naruto had a downcast look. However, after looking at the conditioning of your body, I know exactly what kind of training you need, so I am summoning the spirits of legendary heroes to be your teachers. Normally, training in your mindscape would affect you mentally, but with the power of the Jigen no Tamashi no Rinku, I can make it affect you physically, although you would get very hungry whenever you wake up. Thanks, Chinami-chan. I am ready for the training, so you can summon them, said Naruto with a look of determination. Very well then, I will be summoning them now, said Chinami. Soon 4 figures appeared before them, and Naruto looked at each of them in awe. The first is a man who wears a black sleeveless shirt, a blue scarf, blue ninja pants with 6 skulls at his waist, and a large nodashi strapped at his back. This is Kazuki, a ninja from a different world who is the master swordsman of the Oboro Stlye, which enables one to use Muramasa blades due to the wielder being made immune to its bloodlust and violent desires, which suits you because of your pure heart, said Chinami, to which Naruto nodded in understanding, since he might face swordsmen in the future. The next person is a man wearing a sleek black sleeveless jumpsuit with minor padding, arms and shin guards, fingerless gloves, a hood and scarf covering most of his face, tabi boots and a forehead protector with insignia of a peregrine falcon, and has a Japanese sword strapped to his back. This is Ryu Hayabusa, known in his world as the Dragon Ninja. He will teach you the way of the ninja, which is a bit different from what you know but can be combined with the teachings in the future. The third person is a man with long black hair who is shirtless with a red headband, red and black leggings with a dragon design, studded wrist guards, and black kung fu shoes, Shaolin monk's outfit. The next person is Liu Kang, a Shaolin monk and a previous champion of a tournament known as Mortal Kombat to defend his world. He will teach you in martial arts, as your current fighting style is very poor and could get you killed. Naruto was annoyed but let it go since the person who taught him was Mizuki and he has been dealt with accordingly. And the last person is a man wearing a red and black skin-tight body with a mask. He has two swords on his back, holsters all over his body that holds strange angular weapons that Naruto has never seen before. The last person here is Wade Wilson, also known as Deadpool, usually a mercenary but then joined several groups that protected his world. Despite his sanity being questionable, he is an expert on artillery and will teach you how to use the weapons which we call guns, said, to which Naruto nodded, excited at being able to get strong with these men being his teachers. I will teach you various chakra exercises as well as being able to use my chakra, however the seal only lets me give you a certain amount as the fourth gave your godfather the key to the seal. I have a bit of knowledge for Fuinjutsu, so I'll teach you that as well, said Kurama. Thanks for everything. Let's begin with the training. Soon the elemental nations will learn that if you up against a maelstrom, you will spiral out of control, said Naruto. With that he began his training to become a ninja, which enemies will think twice before challenging him. Has been an eventful 3 weeks since Naruto began his training within his mindscape with Kurama the nine-tailed fox, Shinami the spirit of the Jigen no Tamashi no Rinku, and the spirits of the heroes that were summoned to be his teachers. Kurama had him to perform various chakra exercises so as to improve his chakra control, which was extremely poor due to the fact that he has enormous chakra reserves. So Naruto started by doing tree walking, which involved using chakra on his feet to stick to the tree. At first he could barely take 5 steps before he loses his grip and falls, but Kurama told him that the shadow clone technique has a special ability whereby the memories of a dispelled clone is sent to the original, making it an A-rank jutsu, with only it requiring a large amount of chakra being the drawback. With the help of the shadow clones, Naruto was able to perform the tree walking with no issues, along with water walking, Senbon balancing and sticking a leaf to his forehead. Much to the surprise of the fox and spirit, they came to the conclusion that Naruto learns quickly by body memory. Soon Naruto's chakra control reached up to Junin level, and his speed at performing hand seals makes it difficult for a Sharingan user to copy without error. Before indulging in Fuinjutsu, Shinami had Naruto go to the library to gain knowledge, so he went under a henge and collected books based on history, biology, math, ninjutsu and cooking to make up for the lack of education back at the academy. Afterwards, Naruto practiced on Fuinjutsu, which he has noticed to have a great talent for, leading him to make strong seals for storage, suppression, explosives and much more. Before attempting on the ninjutsu, Kurama and Shinami checked for his elemental affinity, which turned out to be fire, water, wind and lightning, much to their surprise sharing the same thought. Some people are going to regret neglecting or underestimating this guy. Meanwhile, throughout the land, several people felt a chill go down their spines and wished that they wouldn't come across what made them feel that way. Thanks to his now excellent chakra control, Naruto performed the ninjutsu with no error and even created some of his own, ranging from D to a rank, with the intention of teaching them to his trusted comrades and future students. Hint hint. Before Naruto began his training with the heroes, Shinami and Kurama had him confront his inner darkness, which is where he met his dark self that he had locked deep within himself. Flashback. Hey kid, before you start your training with the heroes, Shinami and I decided that you should face the inner darkness that you locked away within yourself, said Kurama, to which Shinami nodded in agreement, but Naruto was confused. I don't understand. I've never had dark feelings as far I could remember, since I never felt angry or vengeful to the villagers, said Naruto. The reason would be because you subconsciously keep those feelings deep inside and you put on a mask to protect yourself. Your mindscape represents your emotions, hence the sewer represents the unshed tears, sorrow and loneliness, said Shinami with a sad look, as Naruto had a look of realization. Kid, you would have to face your inner darkness, otherwise in the long run you might end up destroying yourself and the people you would come to care about, said Kurama. Naruto thought deeply about what the fox said and agreed at what he said. Okay then, I would like to face my darkness, or I will regret anything I might do in the future, said Naruto with a determined look. Immediately he heard footsteps coming from behind and turned to see a figure emerged from a hall, which a person who looked exactly like him except with black eyes and red irises. "Who are you?" said Naruto, tensing for a possible battle. The look-alike chuckled darkly and responded in evil voice, like how Hollow Ichigo talks. "I'm hurt that you don't recognize me. After all, I've been with you this whole time since you were born." The person sneered. "I am the embodiment of your dark emotions. You can call me your true self while you are just a mere shell." Naruto realized that this is his darkness, which had taken a physical form. "Why are you even bothering yourself to become Hokage to protect these villagers who hold nothing but hate for you? I'm sure they would betray you immediately in a bad situation. When I take over your body, I'll become exactly what they fear and destroy the village. Besides, who needs them?" Angered by what he said, Naruto sped through a series of hand seals and launched an attack, wind style. Great breakthrough, a huge gust of wind sped towards the dark persona. Dark Naruto smirked and performed his own hand seals, fire style, grand fireball, and shot a large fireball which consumed the wind and became larger, forcing Naruto to jump out of way, and launched another attack, lightning style, lightning bolt, and stretched out an open palm, releasing a surge of lightning, but Dark Naruto defended himself, wind style, gale claw, by forming a claw made out of wind which covered his hand and slashed at the lightning attack, therefore cancelling it out. "My turn," said Dark Naruto, going through some hand seals, water style, water dragon bullet, launching dragon made out of water at Naruto. Shit, quickly performing some hand seals quickly, fire style, fire dragon bullet, and released a dragon made out of fire and sent it at the water dragon, which resulted in both cancelling each other out, leaving behind a veil of steam. Naruto knew that he had to keep a sharp lookout since he has lost sight of his dark self. Sensing a presence from his left, he quickly ducked to avoid a roundhouse kick and responded with a rising knee, which was deflected and received a backhand that sent him stumbling backwards. Naruto tried to create a distance to recover, but Dark Naruto kept laying the pressure, all the while laughing maniacally. "See how weak you are. Is this the strength you can muster? You're better off being a civilian than a ninja. Ha 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 ha." Both blondes kept exchanging punches and kicks until Naruto launched a high kick, which was a mistake as Dark Naruto performed a leg sweep, knocking him to the ground, and quickly mounted him and began pounding at Naruto's face, while Kurama and Shinami watched with worry. "Like I told you, you're just a shell and a weakling. Let's see how you like it when you are locked away and watch another person walk around without a care in the world," said Dark Naruto as he continued punching at Naruto. While struggling to escape, when Naruto heard what his dark half said, a sudden thought came across his mind before channeling chakra to his hands and pushed him off, sending Dark Naruto a short distance before getting up, all bruised. Dark Naruto quickly got up ready to defend himself, but was surprised to see Naruto simply standing looking at him with a sad look in his eyes. "I understand it now, why you truly exist, and I foolishly kept you locked away, which is why you hate me so much," said Naruto. Dark Naruto looked confused for a moment before sneering at Naruto again. "So you finally understand that I am your true self and that I deserve to be the dominant one while you should just disappear," said Dark Naruto, to which Naruto shook his head in negative. "You're right and wrong at the same time. You were helping the both of us by taking in all of the negative emotions so that we can both stay sane, and yet I rejected you. You are me and I am you. We are two halves of a whole. Light can't exist without darkness, and darkness needs the light, as both need each other to maintain the balance," said Naruto. Dark Naruto glared angrily at him. "What are you talking about? These villagers will surely betray and hurt us. So you're saying that if we stop hating them, then they will stop hating us?" "Don't make me laugh," shouted Dark Naruto. "You forget about Iruka-sensei, who doesn't hate us for what we contain, and don't forget that as ninjas we are meant to endure," said Naruto, smiling. "What about me then? Where do I fit in all this?" shouted Dark Naruto while charging at Naruto. "What am I supposed to do?" He launched a punch, but Naruto moved in and hugged him. "Like I said, you are me and I am you, which is why I say this," said Naruto, who held on more tightly. I'm sorry for rejecting you and I acknowledge you. Dark Naruto was stunned for a moment and closed his eyes, which began to release tears before opening them to reveal cerulean blue eyes similar to Naruto's and hugged back. Thank you and I'm counting on you, bro, said the now awakened Naruto, who turned into sparkles of light and entered into Naruto. I won't disappoint you, said Naruto, who now feels complete. So this is who I truly am. I am Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, son of Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki, a ninja of the Hidden Leaf Village, partner of Kurama the Nine-Tailed Fox and the chosen wielder of the Jigen no Tamashi no Rinku. A bright light shone upon the mindscape and faded to reveal a large forest with a lake and a clearing at the center of the forest. What just happened? Asked Naruto, to which Tsunami answered. Due to making peace with your inner darkness, the mindscape changed to represent your now awakened self as the forest represents your newfound peace, said Tsunami. Naruto nodded in understanding. Now we can resume with your training. Then she summoned Kazuki, Liu Kang, Ryu Hayabusa and Deadpool. Hey Kit, congrats on making peace with your darkness, as it makes it much easier to use both yours and my chakra, but I can provide only a certain amount until we get the key to release the seal, and then we can merge our chakra together, which give us a power which only a container who is in harmony with his biju can achieve, said Kurama, to which Naruto smiled. Thanks, and I need to settle some things with a few before things get out of hand, said Naruto with a worried look that Kurama mirrored. You mean those 3 girls? I can understand that, but what about him? Said Kurama, to which Naruto responded. When the time comes, I will know what to do, so until then, I have to train, said Naruto before walking to the heroes. Flashback end. After making peace with his inner darkness, Naruto discovered some hidden memories back when he was younger and noticed that there are others who cared for him aside from Iruka and promised to meet them again. In his training with Liu Kang, he learned the fighting style from the former Earth Realm champion, including his signature moves, which was the bicycle kick, flying kick, dragon fireball and the dragon uppercut. He was also taught the signature moves of Jax, Kung Lao, and Johnny Cage, saying that he wants their legacy to be continued. After much training, Naruto was able to create his own brutality and fatality, but would have to train harder to discover his animality. Liu Kang was impressed with how Naruto had taken to his fighting as if it was made for him, since his attacks are always come out of nowhere in his spars, hence living up to the title #1 most unpredictable ninja. Well done, young warrior. With this your training is over, all you need now is experience and resolution, said Liu Kang, to which Naruto bowed in respect. Thank you for teaching me your ways, Master Liu Kang. I will honor them and use this strength to protect my village and the people I care about, said Naruto. Liu Kang nodded in approval before fading away. Next teacher was Kazuki, who began to train him in the secret arts of the Oboro style. Naruto took to the sword very quickly and easily and wondered why it felt like he had been using the sword his whole life. Kurama pointed out that his mother was one of the powerful kenjutsu master known in history that could challenge the swordsman of the mist and still come out on top, and so must have inherited her talent for the sword, much to Naruto's joy for having another connection to his family. After much training and help of the shadow clones, Naruto was able to utilize the Oboro style with the long blade and katana, but wasn't able to use the secret arts due to the blades that were sold in the shops being incompatible and would break. That was until he came across a certain shrine. Flashback. Naruto was at the training ground, holding a katana in front of a large wooden stump. Secret arts, log chop. He performed a descending vertical slash upon the stump, but the blade broke halfway through the slash. Damn it, these blades just aren't strong enough to be used for the Oboro style like you said, Master Kazuki, said a frustrated Naruto. Indeed, the Oboro style requires a Muramasa blade or a much more powerful sword in order to perform the secret arts, said Kazuki from the mindscape. Naruto sighed in disappointment and began to return to the apartment to cook some dinner before going to bed. He was passing by a waterfall when Kazuki called him to stop. Naruto, wait, I sense something from behind the waterfall and it feels familiar, said Kazuki. Naruto approached the waterfall and noticed that there is a well-hidden cave behind it, and so he went through it. Walking through the tunnel, which finally revealed an end, Naruto came across a set of stairs which led to a shrine where a long blade and katana lay upon a pedestal, both that emit a strong energy foreign to Naruto. "So this is where they went," said Kazuki. "What are these blades, Master Kazuki?" asked Naruto with curiosity. "The long blade is the Tsukiotoshi while the katana is the Mumi Tamanu. These blades are some of the most powerful blades to have been forged by Muramasa. With the help of these blades, I was able to slay a corrupt shogun who possessed a blade that contained the spirit of an evil Inagami. In the middle of the battle, the shogun created a portal to trap me, but I avoided it. However, the blades fell into the portal and somehow ended up in your world. You can take them as you are immune to the bloodlust thanks to the Oboro style, but you must know that when a Muramasa breaks, it can repair itself when sheathed for a while," said Kazuki, to which Naruto nodded in understanding and took the blades, strapping Tsukiotoshi to his back and the Mumi Tamanu to his waist. Flashback end. After discovering the Muramasa blades, Naruto could now perform the secret arts without worrying about breakages, and soon he became a master swordsman in his own right. He made a seal which stores and releases them when chakra is applied. Soon it was Kazuki's time to leave. "It is time for me to leave, my dear student. Be sure to show your enemies the futility of facing against the Oboro style and make the predecessor of the style swell with pride," said the ninja. "Thank you for taking me as your student, Master Kazuki, as I will surely display the prowess of the Oboro style," said Naruto, bowing to his master before he disappeared as well. Next for training was Ryu Hayabusa, who began to teach him the ways of the ninja in from his world. Since he had mastered the basics, Naruto was able to perform various techniques such as maneuvering through various obstacles using the forest within his mindscape and the buildings in the village for training, and was also trained in stealth, which was easy due to his time as a prankster, obliteration techniques, and ninpo, which is the ninjutsu from Ryu's world. Naruto was also taught the Dragon Ninja's signature techniques, which is the Flying Swallow and Izuna Drop, as well as how to wield a bow staff, dual katana, claws, scythe, nunchucks, and bows with arrows. Soon the training was over and the time for the Master Ninja to leave had come. "I wish you good fortune and hope that you do not stray from the path of the true ninja," said Ryu Hayabusa, to which Naruto bowed in respect. "Thank you for being my master, and I shall uphold the code which a true ninja follows," said Naruto before the Dragon Ninja faded away. Soon the final course of training involved Deadpool also as the merc with the mouth. He had Naruto improve his accuracy by at first standing and aiming, then it went to throwing while on the move, and to deflect incoming projectiles by intercepting or by blocking with his own. After completing that section of the training, Deadpool introduced Naruto to the world of guns, which he took to it excitedly, although the initial introduction was amusing. Flashback. Now it's time for me to introduce you to one of the most finest weaponry ever known to man, and that is guns," said Deadpool, which Naruto looked in confusion. "What exactly is a gun, master?" asked Naruto, to which Deadpool looked in shocked look, if that's possible, through his mask. "You mean you don't know what a gun is?" asked Deadpool, whose head was down and his shoulders were shaking. Naruto shook his head in negative. It was barely a minute before Deadpool raised his head, screamed out, "This is blasphemy! How could you not know one of mankind's greatest invention in the whole world? Question mark. This requires an emergency education." Deadpool grabbed Naruto and ran to a small clearing, sitting him on a rock before pulling out an angular object from his holster. "This, my dear student, is a gun, one of man's greatest source of war. This artistic piece of work can launch small metal projectiles at high speeds and long distance, leaving lethal damage on any sucker stupid enough make you use on. Hold the gun, feel the gun, caress the gun, love the gun is your friend, your soulmate, and if any jerkoff who tries to separate you from your soulmate, then separate his soul from his soon-to-be rotten corpse." Flashback end. After a sugar-coated history of guns, I'm sure Deadpool is a gun nut. Naruto was trained to use various artillery such as handguns, machine guns, grenade launchers, bazooka, shotguns, and many more. then was taught the art of gunkata, which involved close combat while using guns in battle. However, training with Deadpool was not without side effects. Naruto now says wisecracks to anger his opponents, expect a bit those in the future chapters, and ways of interrogation, much to Kurama's amusement and Shinami's discomfort. Then it was go time for the merc with mouth. Looks like it's time for me to ship off, kiddo. Just be to raise some hell while scoring some girls as well as driving some baddies to the loony bin, said Deadpool with a smirk, again if it's possible with mask. Sure thing, sensei. They will definitely want to die before I even get to them, said Naruto with a sadistic at the thought. With that, Deadpool faded away, thus officially ending the training. Afterwards, Naruto spent the rest of the days practicing with his fighting style, ninjutsu and oboro, but was given the last day as a free day to take a photo for his ninja biography and visit the third Hokage. But before he left, Naruto was called into the mindscape. Hey guys, what's up? Said Naruto with a foxy grin, to which the tenants smiled. Hello Naruto-sama, we called you here to inform you of a discovery we made recently, said Shinami. Which is what? Asked Naruto curiously. Well kid, we discovered that if I send my chakra to you while using a legendary weapon or gear, it increases its power or grants you access to a higher level in its power, said Kurama, which Naruto had an excited look. It will only last for a short time, leaving you exhausted after use. I understand, then I'll make it my trump card anyway. I'm on my way to see Gigi, so I'll see you guys later, said Naruto, and with that he exited from the mindscape and went on his way to the Hokage. After taking the photo, a normal one surprisingly enough, he went to meet his surrogate grandfather. Hello Gigi, I've missed you, said Naruto grinning. Sarutobi smiled and returned, happy at seeing the young blonde. Ah Naruto, it has been a while since I've last seen you, I was getting worried, said the old Hokage. Sorry about that, I was training as well as learning more about the bracelet, said Naruto, who was rubbing the back of his head sheepishly. I understand, just be careful when using it as you would draw enemies to yourself, said Sarutobi. While they were talking, the door burst open to reveal an 8-year-old boy wearing a helmet and a long scarf. Prepare yourself, old man, for today is the day I defeat you and take the hat, for I will be the next Hokage. Shouted the boy as he charged at the Hokage but tripped on his own scarf, landing face first on the floor, to which Naruto and the old Hokage sweat dropped. Naruto was about to ask who the boy was when the said person got up and pointed a finger at him. Hey, you tripped me, shouted the boy, annoying Naruto to grab the boy by the scarf. No one tripped you but yourself, you little brat. Naruto snapped. It was at that moment when a man wearing black sunglasses entered to see the scene. Release the boy, for he is the honorable grandson of the Hokage, said the man. Naruto blinked once and turned to the old Hokage for confirmation and received a nod. Then he turned to face the boy, who smirked, thinking that he would act like everyone else. I don't care if you're his grandmother, so don't think you're getting any VIP treatment from me, said Naruto before dropping the boy and left the office, not noticing the stunned look he was receiving from the boy, who left the office, leaving the ninja wearing the sunglasses to panic while the Hokage smirked in amusement. Naruto was walking through the village while ignoring the hateful looks from the villagers until he rounded a corner and called out to his stalker, You can come out, kiddo, since I can tell so far that you want to talk to me. The said person appeared from behind a fence. I expected no less from strong guy like you. I was hoping that you would train me, said the boy, a nervous look. Naruto looked at him for a minute and signed. Before I answer that question, let's go somewhere else and talk, said Naruto, and lead the boy to small clearing and began to talk to the boy who sat beside him on a log. What is your name, as I don't really like calling you kid, said Naruto. My name is Konohamaru. My grandfather named me after the village, but nobody calls by my name, and they always call me honorable grandson, only seeing me as the Hokage's grandson instead of myself, which is why I want to be Hokage as soon as possible so that they will acknowledge me for who I am, like Ebisu said Konohamaru with a sad look in his eyes. In a way, this guy is like me, People are not seeing him for who he is. I starting to like this guy, but I need to give him some advice, thought Naruto before turning to Konohamaru. I've decided to teach to you. The boy had a look of excitement, but there is something you need to know. There are no shortcuts to being Hokage. A Hokage watches over the village as well as protects the people, hence gaining acknowledgement, and most importantly, you will have to beat me for the title, said Naruto with a smile. Konohamaru was surprised at what he said but smiled in return. That was when the ninja now identified as Ebisu appeared. You stay away from the honorable grandson. You have no right to be within his presence, for he is the grandson of. He didn't finish the sentence as Naruto had dashed forward and placed a paralysis seal on Ebisu, rendering him immobile. That seal feeds on my chakra and will not wear off until I go to sleep, so you'll be there for a while, giving you time to think about giving stupid advices involving shortcuts in life, said Naruto before walking off with Konohamaru to training. After a few hours of training, Konohamaru was able to perform the henge, bunshin and substitution much more easily. Well done. Next time we meet, I'll teach you the tree walking exercise, as tomorrow is the day I become a ninja, Naruto said. Konohamaru looked at the blonde with admiration. That's so cool. But I hope you'll have time to come but every once in a while to train or hang out, said Konohamaru, to which Naruto smiled gently. Of course, that's a promise. Let's get you, and I know a fun way to do so. Just keep this a secret between you and me, okay? Said Naruto, and Konohamaru nodded in agreement. Naruto channeled chakra to the bracelet and called out, "Ride the Sky Road." A flash of light appeared and faded to reveal boots with 2 wheels attached to each. Naruto bent down and called Konohamaru, who climbed on his back excitedly, "Hang on tight," and then he activated the shoes, taking off at high speed. The duo are later seen speeding through the village, riding along the walls, grinding on rails and leaping through the rooftops until finally reaching their destination. Thanks for everything, I've never had so much fun, said Konohamaru. No problem, I'll see you around, so take off yourself, Kono, said Naruto. The boy had a confused look. Kono is a nickname I've come up for you. He was about to leave but was suddenly hugged. Good night, Nii-san, said the boy. Naruto was stunned for a moment before giving Konohamaru one of his true smiles and hugged in return. You too, Ototo, he responded before taking off in direction in order to rest for tomorrow. As the sun rises over the hidden leaf village, its rays shine through the apartment of a certain blonde ninja who covers his head in order to continue his sleep while mumbling something about the destruction of the sun. However, his sleep was not to be, as a certain enemy announces his presence. Beep, beep, beep beep. Crunch Naruto's hands upon the crushed remains of an alarm clock. Uzumaki 24. Alarm clock 0, said Naruto with a smirk as he got up from the bed. Good morning, Kurama and Shinami. Good morning, Kit, said Kurama with a warm smile. Good morning, Naruto-sama. I hope you had a good sleep, said Shinami smiling, to which Naruto nodded into affirmation. Yep. Today is the day that I get placed into a team, so let's take a shower, put on my new ninja gear, eat a healthy breakfast and then head for the Ninja Academy, said Naruto, looking at the calendar before taking of his pajamas and going to the bathroom with his towel. Due to lack of hot water, because the landlord said that demons don't deserve to be pampered, Naruto created some seals to alter the temperature of the shower and he didn't even have to pay the bill for it. After taking a bath, Naruto went to his closet and opened it to reveal his new clothes after clearing out his Kill Me orange jumpsuits and set out to wear it. Naruto now wears his forehead protector, replacing the blue cloth with a black and longer one, a black t-shirt with an orange silhouette image of a fox with a face mask, an orange open hooded vest with black flames, black fingerless gloves with metal plating, brown cargo pants with pockets and black ninja sandals. He also wears his old goggles around his neck, telling Kurama and Shinami that it is a precious gift. Naruto then strapped the Tsukiotoshi to his back and the Mumi Tamanu at his waist. Then he went to cook up a breakfast of fried eggs, milk, and toast and fruit salad. He was able to purchase the groceries while under the guise of transformation jutsu. It's a good thing that I bought fresh milk, otherwise I would have had a bad case of diarrhea, said Naruto. True, but if it was your old self then that would have been the case, said Kurama with a laugh while Shinami giggled. It's best that you hurry on your way, Naruto-sama, as you are already late, said Shinami with urgency. No need to worry about that, as I've got just the solution for this situation, said Naruto as he jumped out the window of his apartment and to the streets below. During the descent, Naruto sent chakra to the bracelet and called out, "Surf the clouds." In a flash of light, a small rectangular platform with a wind design appeared at his feet. It levitated a bit over the ground. Let's ride. Naruto quickly took off, leaving a cloud of dust in his wake. While riding through the village, all the while surprising the civilians, the images from the hoverboard told him that the more tricks he performs, the faster he goes, and with that Naruto began performing stunts. He rode along the walls while jumping from one building to the other to create a combo, then he grinded along the wires of the electric poles and then jumped off while performing spins and flips before landing, and the board glowed brightly. Then Naruto went through an alley and saw a wooden plank propped up against a crate and grinned widely before zipping towards it and called out, "Boost." A burst of energy shot out from the rear thruster of the hoverboard, which granted a dramatic increase in speed and launched himself off the makeshift ramp and high into the air. Then Naruto performed a handstand and began to spin fast while calling out the name of his new trick, Uzumaki Spiral, and skidded to a stop in front of the entrance to the academy after landing. What do the judges say to the performance? Asked Naruto to the tenants within the mindscape. Great timing of performing your tricks, perfect control and balance despite it being your first time, so I'll give you a 10, said Kurama while holding up a card with one of its tails. I agree with Kurama-san. I'm impressed with the creativity, fast reaction, and perfect planning while on the move, as well as the creation of the new trick, so I'll also give you a 10, said Shinami, who was also holding up a card as well. Thanks for the rating. Now let's get in before we get into any kind of trouble, said Naruto as he jumped off the hoverboard, which disappeared into the bracelet, and walked into the building. As he came into the class, Naruto saw that the others had arrived as well, most which he was familiar with. A boy whose head is laying on top of the with his eyes closed and has pineapple-shaped hair is Nara Shikamaru, heir to the Nara clan. He always emits the aura of laziness and also seems to think that everything is troublesome and lacks a serious amount of motivation, but Naruto knows that he has the highest IQ in the group. Naruto and Shikamaru would hang out and watch clouds, which both find to be very relaxing. His clan can manipulate their shadows to ensnare foes and force them to mimic their movements. He wears his headband around his left biceps. The boy sitting next to him while snacking on a bag of potato chips is Akamichi Choji, heir to the Akamichi clan. He is never seen without his bag of snacks but is very friendly to everyone, but he is sensitive about his weight, so if anyone is to call him fat, he will go on a rampage. He found a kin in Naruto as they both like to eat, especially at Ichiraku Ramen, or hang out together with Shikamaru. His clan are known for their ability to enlarge parts of their bodies to massive proportions but need to eat large amounts of food for the energy required. He wears his headband as a bandana on his head. The dark raven-haired boy who is brooding at one side of the classroom is Uchiha Sasuke, the surviving member of the Uchiha clan. His clan was annihilated by his elder brother and sworn vengeance. He is withdrawn and cold to everyone and is the top rookie of the class. Naruto tried many times to befriend him but all to no avail. His clan possesses an eye technique known as the Sharingan that can copy the techniques of their opponents. He wears his headband on his forehead. The boy who has a puppy sitting on his head is Inuzuka Kiba with his dog Akamaru, the heir to the Inuzuka clan. Although he means well, he has a warped view of women and proclaims himself as an alpha. Naruto would often get into arguments with him. His clan partners with trained dogs for close combat and known to be the best trackers in the village. He wears his headband on his forehead with his hood up. Further down is a girl with a long blonde ponytail whose name is Yamanaka Ino, an heiress to the Yamanaka clan. She is an outgoing and spirited but is loyal fangirl to Sasuke. She tends to belittle Naruto, believing that he is nothing but trouble. Her clan specializes in infiltrating the minds of enemies to take control of her body. She wears her head around her waist as a belt. Aburame Shino is the boy with the dark glasses, the heir to the Aburame clan. He is known to never express his emotions along with the rest of his clan. Naruto could barely start a conversation with Shino due to his bluntness. His clan battles using bugs which live within them, with the price being chakra for nutrition. Shino wears his headband on his forehead. The girl with the pink hair is Sakura Haruno from a civilian family. She is a loyal fangirl who used to be best friends with Ino but broke up because of their rivalry, and whom Naruto has crush on but is no longer sure at the moment. She is one of the smartest in the class despite the lack of physical ability. She wears her headband on her long pink hair. Last but not least is Hyuga Hinata from the prestigious Hyuga clan. She was supposed to be the clan heiress, but her father ignored her and it to her younger sister Hanabi. She is very shy and lacks self-confidence because of her father's neglect. Whenever Naruto comes near her, she would blush and stutter or even faint, much to his confusion. Her clan specializes in close combat that involves damaging internal organs and chakra points. They also have an eye technique called the Byakugan, which allows them to have a 360 view of their surroundings and see the chakra points on the enemies. She wears her headband around her neck. Naruto looked at her and smiled gently, to which she blushed scarlet and shyly waved. Naruto-kun is looking this way and smiling at me. Wait, he's wearing a headband, which means he graduated after all. I am so glad. I can only wish that we would be put on the same team, thought Hinata. Naruto approached Sakura and called out to her. Good morning, Sakura-chan, greeted Naruto happily. Sakura merely scoffed at the blonde. Naruto Baka, what are you doing here? Only graduates are allowed here, and I remember that you didn't pass the examination, said Sakura. Naruto was saddened before explaining how he got here. Well, Iruka-sensei allowed me to pass through field promotion and the Hokage approved of it, said Naruto. Well, it doesn't matter, as there is no way you can compare to Sasuke-kun even with your new clothes, huffed Sakura. Naruto's tenants were irritated at the Pinket's attitude. Naruto-sama, why does she act this way to you? Said Chinami. She's right, Kit. This girl has changed too much from when you first met her, as she used to be shy like Hinata, said Kurama. I know, but there is something weird about her. I sense something else on her. We need to check up on this later, thought Naruto as he continued upwards until he reached Ino. Good morning, Ino, said Naruto while the female blonde greeted back. Good morning, Naruto. I have to admit that you look good in those clothes, much better than the Kill Me orange jumpsuit, said Ino as she is on friendly terms with Naruto as well as Choji and Shikamaru. Naruto said his thanks and continued upwards until he reached Hinata. Mind if I sit here? Asked Naruto, to which the shy Hyuga nodded. Naruto is sitting right next to me. I hope that I don't faint from this, thought Hinata while Naruto watched from the corner of his eye. That blush of hers really makes her cute, thought Naruto. Then Iruka entered the classroom. Alright, everyone, settle down and pay attention while I announce the teams, said Iruka as he began to call out the names and the teams they would be on. For Team 6 will be Nara Shikamaru, Choji Akamichi and Ino Yamanaka. Your sensei will be Sarutobi Asuma. The trio looked at each other and smiled at being able to work together as the next Shika Ino Cho. For Team 7 will be Inuzuka Kiba, Aburame Shino and Uchiha Sasuke, and your sensei will be Hatake Kakashi. Sasuke looked indifferent while Sakura groaned at not being on his team. I have to find a way to steer him away from the path of revenge, or he'll end up destroying himself, thought Naruto. And for Team 8 is Uzumaki Naruto, Hyuga Hinata and Haruno Sakura. Your sensei will be Yuichi Kurenai and Mitarashi Anko. Naruto smiled happily. I'm on the team with Hinata-chan and Sakura-chan. This is great, thought Naruto. I'm with Naruto-kun on the same team. I hope I can get stronger so that I won't disappoint him, thought Hinata. I can't believe that I'm not on the same team with Sasuke-kun but rather with the baka and the shy girl, but why do I feel happy to be with the blonde and why does my neck itch? Thought Sakura. Now you will wait here until your assigned sensei arrives to pick you up. I wish you all good luck with your ninja career, said Iruka before looking at Naruto, who gave him his true smile and left the classroom. It took a while until a woman approached them. If this is Team 8, I am Yuahi Kurenai, so please follow me. My ko-sensei is waiting at the meeting place, said the newly named Kurenai as Naruto. Hinata and Sakura got up to follow sensei to a dango shop where another woman is sitting at the table waiting for their arrival. Now that we are here, let's introduce ourselves with me going first. My name is Kurenai Yuahi. My likes are genjutsu, hanging with my friends, flowers and herbal tea. My dislikes are rapist, perverts and traitors. I don't feel like telling you my hobbies yet, and my dream is to bring out the potential in my team. You're next, said Kurenai, pointing to the woman next to her. My name is Anko Mitarashi. My likes are dango, sake, snakes and my friends. My dislikes are a certain snake, rapists, perverts and traitors, especially a particular one. My hobbies are R-rated for you guys to hear, and my dream is to make a certain traitor pay for ruining my life, said the newly named Anko. Naruto looked at her sadly along with Shinami and Kurama. You're up, Pinky. My name is Haruno Sakura. My likes are a certain someone who is not on the team, the color pink, drawing and cherry. My dislikes are Naruto Baka and Ino Pig. My dream is to impress a certain someone and reunite with a childhood friend, said Sakura, while Naruto looked sad. Hinata, Kurenai and Anko glared angrily at the Pinkett. She said she wants to reunite with an old friend. But she is supposed to remember that it was you, said Kurama. Something must have happened to make her forget, said Shinami. We'll check on it later after the introductions, thought Naruto as Hinata was called to introduce herself. My name is Hinata Hyuga. My likes are cinnamon buns, pressing flowers and a certain someone, looking at Naruto who smiles back at her. My dislikes are perverts, the caged bird seal and people who look down on others. My dream is to get rid of the seal, reunite the Hyuga clan and get the attention of a certain someone, said Hinata. Okay, you're the last one up, Blondie, said Anko, grinning at Naruto who smiled back. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. My likes is ramen, music, cooking, training and a few special friends. Looking at Hinata and Sakura who had a look of curiosity. My dislikes are the 3 minutes it takes to cook ramen, biased people, perverts and traitors. My dream is to the strongest ninja to protect my precious people and the balance of the world, said Naruto. He's different from what the record says about him. He's more serious and calm from the loud ninja who proclaimed to be the future Hokage, thought Kurenai. While the kid has come a long way, especially with those swords, they emit a weird vibe. I'm sure Yugao would love to check them out and spar with him, thought Anko. Now that we've introduced ourselves, we will be taking a test, and before you ask about it, the previous examination was for preliminary purposes, so tomorrow we'll meet at the training grounds, so don't be late, said Kurenai before they left the shop. Naruto called out to Hinata. Hinata-chan, I want to talk to you alone, said Naruto as the girl blushed at being so close to her crush. They headed to the park. Hinata-hime, I wanted to tell you that it's good to see you again since that day, said Naruto as Hinata looked at him in shock. He remembers that day, thought Hinata as she thinks back. Flashback. In a park, a certain pale-eyed crouched on the floor crying while surrounded by 3 boys who looked down on her smirking evilly. Look at the weak pale-eyed freak. I can't believe she even brushed past us, said one of the boys who kicked her but was soon pushed aside by a spiky blonde hair boy wearing a t-shirt with an orange spiral and a pair of black shorts. Get away from her. If there is anything I hate then it's bullies, so get out of here before I pound you to the ground, said the blonde who took a fighting stance. What are you going to do about it? There's 3 of us and only one of you. There's no way, yo. The boy didn't finish the sentence as a fist connected with his face. Courtesy of the blonde, the two boys attacked from both sides and soon there was a scuffle while the girl watched on in surprise at the blonde who came in to rescue her. The three boys got up and run away while tending to their bruises and busted lips. The blonde approached the girl while sporting a black eye and few bruises of his own. "Are you okay?" asked the boy, to which the girl nodded. "That's good. My name is Naruto, what's yours?" My name is Hinata of the Hyuga clan," said Hinata. "So you're a member of that clan, then you must be strong with that awesome Kekkei Genkai," said Naruto, looking at her with stars in his eyes, to which the girl looked sad. "I'm not so sure about that. My father say that I am weak and won't amount to anything," said the girl while Naruto had a look of anger. "There's no such thing as a weak person. I can tell that you are strong, you only need to believe in yourself. Tell you something. Let's promise each other that the next time we meet, we will work together to become stronger and prove everyone, including your father, wrong," said Naruto, holding up his pinky finger. "Oh, okay. I hope that we meet again and thank you for saving me," said Hinata, crossing her pinky with his. "Goodbye, Hinata Haim," said Naruto, running off while waving at her, to which she shyly waved back. Flashback end. "You remember that day and the promise we made as well, right?" asked Naruto, to which Hinata nodded. "I was aware that you were also following me around, plus I know that you like me." Hinata blushed scarlet, fought hard not to faint from embarrassment when Naruto hugged her. "Well, I like you too and I hope that you'll be my girlfriend." That was it, and she finally fainted, to which Naruto laughed. "Still as shy as I remembered her," said Kurama, to which Chinami nodded. "True, but I can sense great potential from within her," said the spirit. After a while Hinata woke up, thinking what happened before was a dream. "I see you are awake, so what is your answer?" asked Naruto, to which he received a hug and a kiss to the lips. "My answer is yes, and I'm happy that you accepted me," said Hinata with a bright smile. "Thank you, but you should also know everything about me and I hope you can accept me," said Naruto as he told her of the Kyuubi, the bracelet and his family, to which she cried and hugged him tightly. "You aren't the fox, you're Naruto, the son of the fourth Hokage, and I love you no matter what happens," said Hinata. Naruto began to cry for the first time since he was 4 years old and held her tightly. "Thank you, but that biased civilian council might force the CRA on me, but I will only marry women whom I fall in love with, so I hope that you would be my first," said Naruto. "I don't mind much because I know that you will love us all equally," said Hinata as she kissed him again. "Thanks, now let's get you home," said Naruto as he focused chakra to his bracelet. "Ride the Sky Road," and summoned the air treks, much to the surprise of Hinata. He then carried her in a bridle position. "Well done, we're off." Then he took off at high speed. When they reached the Hyuga estate, Naruto set her down, much to her disappointment as she enjoyed the ride since Naruto was performing some minor tricks and stunts with her, laughing out loud. "Good night and see you tomorrow, Hinata Haim." "You too, Naruto-kun," said Hinata before walking away with a skip in her step, to which Naruto smiled happily. "Now to look for Sakura-chan, and I know just the place that she would be," thought Naruto before skating away, unaware that a pale-eyed boy with long hair was glaring at him. Naruto skated along the roofs until he reached a small hill close to a lake and saw Sakura standing there looking lost. "Sakura-chan, I was looking for you." She turned to look at him with disgust. "What do you want, Naruto Baka? You're here to ask for a date? Well, too bad, cause I'm going to be the wife for Sasuke-kun, so leave me alone," said Sakura, turning away from the blonde. "I'm not here for that. You said that you were looking for someone and I wanted to help, so can you tell me who the person is?" said Naruto. "This might confirm my suspicions." Sakura clenched her head as if in pain. "I trying to remember, but when I try, my head hurts and my neck itches," said Sakura while scratching her neck. "Can I take a look?" asked Naruto, to which Sakura gave a hesitant nod. Then he lifted her hair and was surprised to see a seal glowing at the back of her neck. Who the hell would put a loyalty seal and a memory seal on Sakura-chan? The memory seal must have sealed away her memories, which is why she didn't recognize you back, and the loyalty must be the reason for that fangirlish faith in the Uchiha, but the person would do this must have been trying to get the Sharingan through procreation, said Kurama. Wait, I see something else here. Root, hold on, didn't Gigi tell us that Root was disbanded years ago, so why are they still in operation? I remember that Danzo was the leader of the group. It seems that man is working behind the Hokage's back and must be leaking out information to the other villages, said Shinami with anger in her voice. To involve Sakura-chan in his plans, that Warhawk is gonna pay for this. I'll copy these seals for evidence and remove it, thought Naruto as he placed a slip of paper and applied chakra to it and traced out the drawing before speaking to Sakura. Sakura-chan, someone placed a seal on you and I'm going to remove it. Sakura was shocked at the discovery. Who would put a seal on me? I didn't do anything to anyone, said Sakura looking scared. Don't worry, I can remove it, so just hold still as it might hurt, said Naruto before performing some hand seals before placing a finger on the seal. Uzumaki Arts, Seal Destruction. The seal glowed brightly before fading away. Sakura clenched her head as memories flooded into her mind. Flashback. At a hill close to a lake, a girl with pink hair sits near the lake crying with several girls taunting her. Look at that girl with the big forehead. I bet her parents write notes on it while she sleeps, said a girl, with the others agreeing. What a freak. I'm sure no one even wants to be her friend or even be her boyfriend, said another girl. They continued laughing until they saw a blonde spiky-haired boy approach the picket. Hey, stay away from the freak. She doesn't deserve anyone to be close to her. The blonde turned to the girls with a look of rage which scared the girls. The person who doesn't deserve to have friends is you. Now get out of here before I lose what little control of my temper I have left, shouted Naruto, to which the girls run away like a bat out of hell as the pink-haired girl looked at the blonde in awe. He turned to her with a smile on his face. You can stop crying now. I scared them away, and don't listen to what they said about your forehead. By the way, my name is Naruto. What's yours? Asked Naruto with a foxy grin. My name is Sakura. Thank you for helping me, said the shy girl. She was surprised that this boy would willingly help her, as no one had ever done that. That's a fitting name for cute girl like you. Well, to tell you the truth, I think you have a pretty forehead, as it makes me wanna kiss it, said Naruto, blushing while Sakura was sporting a blush of her own. He thinks my forehead is pretty. No one has ever said that to me, not even my parents, thought Sakura. Well then, how about we become friends then? What do you think? Asked Naruto, and his response was a tight hug from Sakura as she saying thank you repeatedly. Since then Naruto and Sakura would meet at the hill and play together. They also promised to always be there for each other no matter what. Flashback end. Upon remembering everything, Sakura turned around, hugged Naruto, all the while crying. Naruto-kun, I'm so sorry, I didn't really mean all those things I said, and I didn't mean to abandon you. I'm really sorry, said Sakura while Naruto hugged her gently and rubbing her back. It's okay. I knew that you didn't mean to say those things, and I still kept to our promise, which is to be there for each other. That was why I always cheered you up whenever you felt down. But could you tell me who placed the seal on you? Said Naruto, although he knew who the culprit is. After I played with you on that day, I went home and saw some ninjas wearing blank masks with a kanji for root as they knocked out my mom and were putting some kind of seal of her neck. I tried to run away, but they caught me and I lost consciousness. That's all I could remember until when you removed the seal and my memories came back, said Sakura. Naruto had a look of rage along with Kurama and Shinami. It's official. I'm going to destroy Danzo along with Root, and they have taken it too far. Thought, with his tenants agreeing. Sakura-chan, when I go to the next council meeting after the test, I'll remove the seal from your mom, but I want you to keep up the act so as to avoid suspicion and alert the group until the Hokage and I deal with them, said Naruto as he hugged her. Everything will be alright, I can promise you that. Okay, but please be careful, said Sakura before kissing him on the cheek and running off while Naruto had stunned look on his face. Will you tell her about us as well, Kit? Said Kurama. Yes, but it will be after I deal with Danzo and the civilian council. I can only hope that she doesn't reject me, thought Naruto before channeling chakra to the bracelet, surf the clouds, and summoned the hoverboard. Then he rode home to rest for the next day. The next morning, Naruto had woken up and prepped himself for the incoming test with his teammates. Before moving out, Naruto called out to his tenants. Do you guys sense it too? To which they nodded in confirmation. Yes, Kit, I can sense a ninja hiding close by and his emotions are repressed, which isn't common among most ninjas, said Kurama. Naruto frowned inwardly, knowing who the ninja belonged to. It must be one of Danzo's root ninja. I remember that Gigi told me that Danzo was supposed to disband his group after the Great Ninja War, but it seems he didn't do so. He recruits ninjas and brainwashes them to obey only him into his own personal army. With me being your container, he would also be trying to get me to become his weapon but couldn't, as Gigi had been protecting me this whole time. But unless Gigi has solid evidence, he can't do a thing to Danzo, but not for long, as he has crossed the line involving Sakura-chan and her mother in his selfish ambition, said Naruto with anger in his voice. So what is the plan, Naruto-sama? Asked Shinami. She was also disgusted by the selfishness of the Warhawk. I'll summon a clone to follow the ninja to his base of operations and gather any kind of intel which we can use to bring down Root, and I have a feeling that the civilian council are involved in this as well, said Naruto as he summoned 2 clones before him. Okay, you will go out and lead the Root ninja away and the other will follow him back to their hideout and get some dirt on them so that Gigi and I will disband them for good this time. Okay, boss, said the clones at the same time. The first one went out of the apartment and upon sensing the ninja follow the clone, the second clone followed closely behind using the stealth training he received from Ryu Hayabusa. You'd better get to the training ground, Naruto-sama, it's almost time for the test, said Shinami. Okay then. Naruto quickly jumped out of the window to the roof of the next building and focused on the bracelet, ride the Sky Road, and summoned the air treks and sped towards the training grounds at high speed and was able to arrive with only 10 minutes to spare, where he saw that Sakura and Hinata had just arrived as well. Good morning, Sakura-chan, Hinata-chan. He waved happily at the 2 girls, to which they smiled and greeted back. Gee, good morning, Naruto-kun, said Hinata shyly. Naruto frowned inwardly, knowing the cause of her low self-esteem and planned to resolve it soon. Good morning, Naruto-kun, said Sakura with a small smile. Naruto noticed that she wasn't too happy, and it had something to do with her mother still being under the control of the seal that Danzo put on her. It's great that you are here early, as we have enough time to make a plan for the test, said Naruto, to which the girls had a look of confusion. I feel that this test has something to do with teamwork, so I need to know the skills that you currently have so that I can formulate a plan. Well, I can use my Byakugan to see through genjutsu and chakra points. I can also use the gentle fist of my clan, but I'm not too proficient in it, said Hinata, hoping that it would meet up to his expectations. That's good. I also know the reason why you can't use the gentle fist properly, and I'll help you with it after the test. So what about you, Sakura-chan? Said Naruto, turning to the Pinkett. Well, I can use the Academy Taijutsu and perform low-rank genjutsu. I can also set up traps, said Sakura, who was angered at herself for wasting her time chasing after someone whom she didn't love instead of training. That's perfect for the plan, and don't beat yourself up over what happened back then, as you can now get stronger for a better reason, said Naruto, who had noticed why she had looked unhappy, to which she smiled. Waiting a few more minutes after formulating a plan, the group waited until the 2 Junin sensei had arrived. It's good that you brats had arrived early, so let's get this test over with, as I'm craving for some dango, said Enko, grinning evilly, but was surprised they weren't even intimidated but were rather glaring back at her. They're different from what the academy reports said. I'd watch myself, thought Enko, with Kurenai thinking the same thing. Okay then. In this test, Enko and I will possess a bell each, and your task is to get the bells before noon. you can use any means necessary and whoever doesn't get a bell will be sent back to the Ninja Academy, said Kurenai, which confirmed what Naruto had told them. So that's what Naruto-kun was talking about, the bells are just there to drive us apart to work alone. Well, no one is going to separate me from Naruto-kun this time, thought Hinata. Just like Naruto-kun said, I'm sure that the other team are facing the same kind of test but in different forms. I've already wasted many years not being with Naruto-kun and I am not going to waste any more, thought Sakura. With that, the test starts in 3, 2, 1, go, said Enko before throwing out a smoke bomb as the senior ninja took off in different directions. Okay guys, let's commence with the plan, said Naruto. The girls nodded and split up in pursuit of the teachers. Enko was keeping an eye out for the genin when she quickly backflipped to avoid a fireball from above as Naruto descended. That's impressive, brat, but it will take a lot more to surprise me, grinning at the blonde who grinned back, which slightly unnerved her as her gut is warning her to be careful around him. He quickly dashed at her in a zigzag pattern to throw her focus off, which worked when he leapt at her. Flying kick, he called out before landing a powerful kick which sent her flying back before recovering just in time to avoid a punch from the blonde. What's with this kid? Question mark. He fights almost on par with a Junin or maybe higher. Enko jumped back to create some distance and was relieved that Naruto didn't pursue. You're pretty good, but don't get ahead of yourself, shadow snakes. Snakes shot out of her hands towards Naruto, who went through a set of hand seals, wind style, typhoon dance. He began to spin, which made hover a feet above the ground as razor-sharp wind began to surround him. The snakes ended up getting shredded by the wind and Naruto headed in the direction of Enko, who went through her own set of hand seals, fire style, grand fireball, and launched a large fireball at him, thinking that it would just burn him a bit, but was surprised at what he did next. Water style, whirlpool dance. The wind was replaced with water that reduced the fireball to nothing but steam. How many affinities does this kid have? I've never seen those jutsu in the ninjutsu records before. Though Enko sensei, if you're wondering why you have never seen these jutsu before, well, it's because I created them myself and much more. I can teach them to you after the test, so look forward to it, said Naruto with a smile as Enko looked at him with her jaw open in shock. It looks like she will take you more seriously now that you've told her, kid, said Kurama while laughing at the look on the kunoichi's face. Chinami was giggling at the scene as well. Alright then, let's continue. Shadow kick. Naruto's body glowed green and zipped towards Enko while launching a kick which connected, but she burst into smoke revealing a log. She used a substitution jutsu. He was stunned for a moment when he heard the sound of kunai being thrown at him. Naruto quickly gripped the hilt of Mumi Tamanu, secret arts, quick draw, and drew it out and then returned it to its sheath as the kunai were cut into pieces and lay on the ground. Enko, who was hiding in the treetops, was stunned at the swordplay of the young ninja. I'd better regroup with Kurenai as I'm not so sure about facing him alone anymore, and I remember that he is weak against genjutsu, which must be why he came after me, thought Enko before taking off to join her fellow kunoichi. Naruto sensed her leaving and smiled knowingly. She's gone to join Kurenai-sensei just like I thought. Everything is going according to plan. I just hope that Hinata-chan and Sakura-chan are doing okay, thought Naruto. I'm sure that they are doing just as they are following the plan as well, so you must hurry to them in order to commence with the final phase, said Chinami, to which he nodded before running after Enko. Meanwhile, Kurenai was hard-pressed as she was engaging Hinata in close combat, with Sakura backing her up by either launching kunai at her or joining in with the Academy Taijutsu. At the beginning, Kurenai tried to ambush Sakura with an illusion but was rather ambushed instead when Hinata attacked from behind and threw her into the clearing where Sakura had set up a trap of explosive tags that she was able to escape with a substitution jutsu. Since then she was receiving relentless attacks from the two girls, giving her no room to perform a genjutsu. I can't get the opportunity to perform a genjutsu without them pressuring me. If only Enko were here, then I would have some breathing room. Then at that moment, the set had just appeared in the clearing with Naruto coming close behind. With a glance at each other, the two kunoichi nodded and immediately launched themselves at their new opponents, thinking that they now have the advantage being together, but failed to notice the smirks on the faces of the three genins. Right as they were upon them, Naruto called out, "Hinata, Sakura, do it now." Immediately appeared before Kurenai, who was unable to react as she was struck in her chakra points, resulting in paralysis, while at the same time Naruto appeared before Anko and slapped a piece of paper on her arm which glowed brightly, and she fell to the ground unable to move just as the timer rang. "Well done on capturing us, but now which one of you will go back to the academy while the others continue on their career?" asked Kurenai after recovering from the attack along with Anko after Naruto removed the seal. "You will have to wait for a new team as we will return to the academy since we are not choosing anyone," said Sakura as she threw the bells at the feet of the two Junin, much to their surprise, before smiling at the genin. "Then if that's the case, then you all pass, as the true purpose of the test was teamwork," said Anko with a smile, especially at Naruto, who smiled back. "Now that is over with, could you explain how you were able to get the bells from us?" "Well, I had Sakura-chan and Hinata-chan engage Kurenai-sensei as they could defend against genjutsu while I face you in battle. I intended to pressure you in order to force you to team up with Kurenai-sensei. When you met up with each other and tried to switch opponents, I performed a substitution jutsu to surprise you by using a paralysis seal on you and Hinata-chan to render Kurenai-sensei immobile by striking her chakra points," said Naruto. The two Junin were shocked at how perfect the plan was with no error or risk. "But where did you get those seals from? I'm sure that they don't sell at shops for genins except Chunin to Anbu ranks," said Kurenai. "Well, that's easy because I made them. I have a talent for creating seals as well as cracking them," said Naruto. He noticed that Anko was looking at him with a pleading look in her eyes, to which he nodded. She looked at him with hope. "Well then, we'll meet up at the Hokage Tower in the next 2 days for our first mission, so until then, congratulations on passing the test and welcome to the world of Shinobi," said Kurenai with a smile as she left with Anko, leaving Naruto with Hinata and Sakura. "I'm so glad to be on the team with you guys," said Sakura happily, "and I'm happy to be with you. Now I can make up for the mean things I did to you." Me too," said Hinata. "Now that I'm with Naruto, I can get stronger with him and prove everyone wrong." "Same here, but there are some things I need to reveal to you, especially to you, Sakura-chan, but that will be after I deal with the current issue at hand," said Naruto, to which Sakura nodded, knowing what he was talking about. "Okay, Naruto-kun, I'll wait for you until then," said Sakura, who hugged him before going home. Hinata also hugged him before returning to her estate. "I hope that Sakura-chan would accept me like Hinata-chan did," thought Naruto. "I'm sure her feelings won't change even when she hears of your condition," said Chinami. "She's right, Kit. Now let's get to the Hokage's office to wait your clone to return with the intel from Danzo's hideout, and don't forget to help Anko before then. I'm sure you know where to meet her," said Kurama. "Sure thing," said Naruto before focusing on the bracelet, surfed the clouds, and summoned the hoverboard and rode towards Area 44, also known as the Forest of Death. Upon arriving at the location, he saw Anko waiting at the entrance. "Sorry if I kept you waiting. So how was the meeting with the Hokage?" "It was interesting as everyone kept trying to deny that you were able to pass the test, and 3 poor suckers broke the 3rd Hokage's law, got a one-way ticket to the afterlife, although Kakashi was still upset that he didn't have you on his team," said Anko with a smile. "I can't blame him as he is my godbrother, and I also know that he was Dog and you were Snake from Anbu," said Naruto. Anko was surprised at how he figured it all out. "If you're wondering at how I figured it all out, well, it's because the 4th Hokage and I look alike. I'll also never forget the people who helped, and now it's my turn to help you." Are you sure? Not even Jiraiya-sama could remove the cursed seal," said Anko, who looked anxious, to which Naruto placed a hand on her shoulder to calm her down. "I'm sure of it. Just try to relax, as it might hurt a bit," said Naruto. After Anko took off her jacket, He performed a set of hand seals, then his right hand glowed white, he placed it on the seal and called out, Uzumaki arts, cursed exorcism. Then he removed his hand and saw the seal release black smoke before disappearing as Anko fell to the ground panting heavily. Is it gone? Asked Anko in a shaky one. Naruto merely smiled and brought out a mirror for her to see that the seal was truly gone. She began to cry and then hugged the blonde, all the while muttering thank you repeatedly. Thank you for freeing me from his curse. I thought that I would never be free from him. It's okay. After all, it is least I can do for the person who always protected from the mob, said Naruto with a foxy grin as he was released from her embrace. Actually, there is something I've always wanted to tell you, said Anko, who began to fidget shyly while blushing. Well, I've always had a crush on you since the day you saved me from a group of rapists. Ever since then I've always been watching over you. She must be that girl whom you saved back when you were 5 years old from those men, said Kurama, to which Naruto nodded. Thank you for having feelings for, and I would gladly return those feelings, but you must know that I am the CRA act, which means that you'll have to share me with other girls, said Naruto. He was then embraced by Anko. I don't mind, as I know that you will love all of us equally, said Anko with a smile. Alright then, I have to get to Gigi's place for a private meeting, so I'll see you tomorrow, said Naruto, who waved goodbye before riding towards the Hokage tower. Then he knocked on the door and entered to see his surrogate grandfather working on the paperwork. Good evening, Gigi, I came to discuss something with you. Ah, hello Naruto, sure I have time, anything to distract me from this blasted paperwork, said Sarutobi with a smile. Well, it concerns Danzo and his root ninjas, as one of them were following me around. I sent out a clone to follow him to their base to get some intel, as they had placed a seal on Sakura and her mother, which was why she was against my well-being, said Naruto, presenting the copied seal, as Sarutobi was shocked at first but then became serious. Are you sure your clone can do it? This is different from sneaking into Anbu headquarters during one of your pranks, as Danzo never leaves a trail behind, said Sarutobi. I know, which was why I had my clone use this. Naruto focused on the bracelet, Honor Among Thieves. The bracelet glowed and faded to reveal Naruto holding a cane with a golden hook. Along with my stealth training, I can use this to steal items without anyone, not even an elite, knowing, and I'm sure that my clone would arrive any minute from now. At that moment, Naruto's clone came in through the window holding a large brown envelope. I've brought in the intel and you won't believe things that bastard has done. Let me dispel to give you my memories, said the clone as he placed the envelope before disappeared. Naruto blinked once and then had a look of rage and slammed his fist on the table. That no good, Blackhearted bastard. And to think that they call me a demon, shouted Naruto. Wanting to find out why he was so angry, Sarutobi opened the envelope and read the document, only to mirror the same look of rage. As turns out, Danzo had taken the eyes of the Uchiha clan members during the massacre, giving information of the village to other villages, lied to Jiraiya and Tsunade that Naruto died during the Kyuubi's attack, plans to brainwash the heirs of the clans, and was planning for a coup with the help of the civilian council. Anbu, he shouted. The ninja appeared before him. Gather the rest of your team, for we are going to destroy Root. Then he put on his ninja gear and soon the group led by headed to where Danzo's hideout. What is your plan, Naruto? Hold on, said Naruto as he summoned 200 of his clones. Then they focused on their bracelet and called out, lock and load. Then there was a bright glow which faded to reveal all of them, each holding a heavy machine gun. Alright, the first 100 will surround the perimeter and make sure that no one escapes. 50 of you will serve as support for the Anbu and the rest of will be with me and the Hokage for assault. Don't mess this up or we clear. Quote. Sir, yes sir. With that they all raided the base, completely take the Root ninja by surprise. They tried to fight back but were easily taken down. Clones as they launched missiles, bombs, bullets and flamethrowers along with the Anbu squad. Whoa, this kid is a one-man army. I hope that we can get him on the squad after this, said an Anbu wearing tiger mask. He has already been put in a team, but I'm sure that I can get him a special position, said the captain of Anbu, who is wearing a dragon mask. Soon the base was overrun and Naruto had found the old Warhawk hiding behind a sealed room. He thinks he can hide from me. Well, he's in for a surprise, said Naruto as he brought out a pack of explosive tags. Gigi, how much explosive tags is this gonna take? Sarutobi had a thoughtful look. I'm sure it's no more than 20 ounces, said the professor. What? I hate the metric system. Can't you put it in much simpler terms? Asked Naruto. Sarutobi and the Anbu thought deeply, which annoyed him. You know what? Forget it, I'll just use all of the tags. Then he placed the tags all over the door. Fire in the hole. Everyone took cover as there was a huge explosion. As the smoke cleared, everyone peeked in to see Danzo laying on the ground all bloodied and the right sleeve torn to reveal the Sharingan embedded in his arm. You have to admit, the explosion was pretty cool, to which they all nodded. Then they tied up Danzo and took him